Hi, my name is Jay with Sojourn Cyclery. I'm going to be using this series of videos to take you through the design process to build your own custom wooden bicycle. You have a lot to choose from. You can build a wooden mountain bike, a road bike, gravel grinder, tandem, electric bike. I even built a wooden unicycle once. You need to start with a drawing, and you can create your drawing on a good old-fashioned drawing board. That's one thing I really like about wooden bikes is you can use relatively low-tech tools to create a beautiful masterpiece. I'm going to be using a CAD system because that's what I'm used to, and I'm hoping that you can follow me step by step through this process and you can create your own writable art. So let's start off with some definitions. I'm going to be using these terms throughout the process, so it's important for you to know what I'm talking about here. BB is the bottom bracket, and this is the top tube. And we also have a measurement called the top tube horizontal, also known as the effective top tube. That would be the measurement of the top tube if indeed it was horizontal, which usually they are not horizontal. A seat tube length, this is also known as the frame size. The chainstay length, this is the chainstay and this is the seat stay. Here we have the head tube, and this is the down tube, and the fork in this case is just represented by some lines, but we've got what's called the fork rake, or sometimes known as the fork offset, and this is the length of the fork. Critical angles to a frame would be the seat tube angle, and probably more importantly the head tube angle. This image was taken from the website cyclingabout.com, and it accompanies a really nice article on geometry and handling. Really very helpful. I'll try to leave the link down below. I'm going to go through the design process using one of my customers. His name is Jim, and he's currently riding a 51 centimeter carbon fiber racing bike. I've taken some measurements off of his bike. He likes the way he fits on the bike, but he just wants something different. He wants a wooden bike that will be more of a comfort, touring / gravel grinder. So some things are going to be different, but his relationship between the handlebars, the seat, and the pedals will be basically the same. So I tried to capture that information in this table right here. And then I also asked Jim to give me some measurements that will play into the process here before too long, and I made a few notes to myself what I want to do differently on this frame. Most bike manufacturers are very good about giving us vital information about the bike frame in a form that looks something like this, and this is indeed Jim's frame, and he's riding a 51 centimeter, so I'm going to follow this line across and kind of pencil in the dimensions of his frame to make sure that I'm not too far off base as far as the fit goes. Now if you're riding a bike even from way back in the 70s that you really like, more than likely you can go on that bicycle manufacturer's website if they're still in business and get into their archives and pull up this kind of information on your bike. It's very, very helpful. This is a very helpful illustration about trail. This also comes from cyclingabout.com. Have you ever noticed how some bikes you can ride easily with no hands and other bikes tend to want to throw you like a mad horse? Well, a lot of that has to do with trail. Trail is simply the distance between the revolving point or rotation point and the patch point of the tire where the tire touches the pavement. When you have more trail, you have what I would consider to be a longer lever versus a short lever, and that longer lever gives you a more self-correcting torque, which keeps the bike stable. This is what I call my R&D table, research and development, or rip off and duplicate. I know Jim wants a gravel grinder type frame, so what I did is I went to some of the websites of manufacturers and builders that I admire, and I looked at their geometries. I read the reviews of their bikes, and also looked at the descriptions of the bikes, and came up with this table that I just took right off of their website. Now Jim's bike is right here at the bottom, and he's riding a 51 centimeter. According to his measurements, I think he'd be better off with a 54 centimeter. Racing bikes are sometimes a little bit shorter than touring type bikes, so I'm going to bump that up to 54. Other things that I want to look at would be the chainstay length. At 40 centimeters, he really doesn't have room for the fatter tires that he wants for off-roading. So I'm going to definitely bump up his chainstay. Take a look at the drop, the bottom bracket drop. Probably change that just a little bit. And what else? Well, notice the trail. The trail on these kind of rough stuff bikes, somewhere, these are a little bit shy, but most of them are in the 6 to 6.8 range. Jim's trail isn't too awful bad really at 5.8, but I'm going to bump him up to 6.8. In the next video, I'll go through the design process step by step. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.